Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Ron, and today I will be repotting my Monstera Obliqua, and I'm gonna try to make a very miniature moss pole, and I hope it's not gonna be too hard. All right, so about 8 months ago is when I picked up this plant from an Equigenera pop-up here in downtown Las Vegas, and it was their very first pop-up here. They've had, I think, at least a couple more, but I never had the chance to go out again. I've been very busy lately with house renovations and personal life things, but I picked up this plant. It started off with a single vine plant with maybe like 4 or 5 leaves. From that one single vine that this plant originated from, I took 2 more cuttings, and so now there is a total of 3 vines in this glass jar. So I'm hoping once I'm done with the repot, it'll look like it's basically gonna look like this, right? But I want to eventually take additional more cuttings and then combine them all together so that, it'll look as bushy as that Monstera Adansonia that's in the corner right here. I think it's gonna look so good, but it's done pretty well under my care. I initially stuck it into my Mills bowl cabinet, which it has been in ever since, in this glass jar. But as you can see, the light in the Mills bowl cabinet is doing very well because look, all of that algae growth, which is kind of scary. But the plant has been, I wouldn't say thriving, because the leaves could actually grow bigger with the more signature bigger holes. But as you can see, it hasn't really grown into its most mature looking leaves yet. I know the holes can be very large with the leaf looking it almost looks like it's a very fragile plant. But the holes, don't let it deceive you, because this, to me at least, looks pretty healthy. I know most people only have like 1 or 2 vines within their pots, and it kind of makes it look very, what's the word? Like lonely. It should look full like this. So I made several cuttings and stuck them back into this pot, which, by the way, is mostly just perlite or pumice and water. But on the top, I've added some sphagnum moss to kind of keep it from drying out too quickly. And being the neglectful plant parrot that I've been lately, I haven't really switched it out of this pot or this glass jar ever. I think that's quite obvious, right? But 8 months later, I think it's time to upgrade it into an actual pot with actual soil. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Also, the reason why I say it's never really thrived in the Mills bowl cabinet is because a couple of times over the last 2 months, I would say, it threw out very long leafless tendrils or vines. And I've actually snipped them off because they don't really do the plant justice. All it's doing is looking for more light, probably. This plant, I think, really likes to climb, and so that is also the reason why I'm going to be creating my own moss pole, because I don't have one with me that is proportional to this size pot. This is like a 6-inch pot, plastic white nursery pot. I have like a 4-foot one, but I'm sure this plant will love it, but it's going to take some time for it to actually make use of that 4-foot pole. So I'm just going to take this bamboo stick that I have. It's probably like, 16 inches long. And I have some moistened sphagnum moss here. I'm going to try my best to wrap it around this bamboo pole and then use this twine to kind of tie it all together. But we'll see how that works. But yeah, also, I think it's throwing out tendrils because not only is it trying to look for more light, I think it's also looking for more nutrition. So, I mean, most of the time I've been just watering it with straight water, tap water to be exact. And I don't think that's, I mean, sometimes I do add a little bit of liquid fertilizer from Dynagrow Foliage Pro, but even then, like I'm sure this plant would love to grow in actual soil. But in this video, I'm gonna be using this soil mix that I've been using in a lot of my most recent plants in repots. But it's basically peat moss, coconut husk, pumice, worm castings, charcoal. I think I put in a little bit of mosquito bits. Yeah, that is the plan for today. I'm gonna be taking this plant out of this jar. We're gonna see how the roots look. I have a good feeling about this. Like, even though the container is dark because of all that algae growth, I think it's doing just fine because look at it. Doesn't it look pretty good? I don't know, I guess it could look better, right? But yeah, we will see. Okay, welcome to the closer look. Here I've got my small potting mat. There is one vine in here that died off. That kind of makes me nervous because that was probably due to root rot. Now I'm taking out the sphagnum moss that I dressed on top of the pumice. There was a little bit of root rot in the upper area roots, but I don't know, we'll see. Yucky. Guys, it looks disgusting. I'm sorry you had to see that. But algae is not really harmful, but I feel like it does use up some of the nutrition that the plant is supposed to get. I'm probably gonna go and rinse this in the sink real quick. But looking at the roots, guys, they actually look very healthy. The roots that were at the top, kind of nestled in the sphagnum moss, ended up rotting away. So let that be a lesson to you guys if you're watching and you're wondering, hey, should I put some sphagnum moss as a top dressing? The answer is probably no, because I feel like the sphagnum moss, ooh, bless you, Pia. Pia's down there. She's wandering around and just hanging out. But anyway, yeah, the sphagnum moss at the top, I guess it has a different water retention rate than the pumice that's in the jar. So while the pumice might dry up faster, the sphagnum moss holds too much water, and that probably led to root rot with those roots up here. That's not an issue. I just have to pluck off all of the dead roots because all of the roots down at the bottom, they look pretty good. Now you might be saying, hey, why don't you just use an opaque container in the beginning so that, you know, the algae doesn't grow, because, you know, it's essentially going to be a dark environment within the pot so that the algae won't grow. But I like using glass containers because, especially with cuttings, it's so satisfying to see roots start to develop. Okay, so here is what we're left with. We're actually left with two root systems. Here's one of them, the smaller one. I believe, I'm trying to figure out which was the original stem, but I can't really tell. Probably this one because it looks older, because it's starting to turn yellow. And I don't think it's gonna turn even more yellow than it already is. But on this one, you can see what I think was the mother plant stem right here. And then this offshoot that is forming this plant. And that one has a really thick root right there. So if I wanted to, I could probably chop it off and separate this root from that mother stem, and then that mother stem will probably grow another offshoot. I'd rather just leave it because, I mean, look at the leaves that have grown out of this root system. They look pretty healthy to me. So I'm not even gonna bother. And then this one, I guess I didn't actually take more cuttings because this one, I think this one started off as a cutting and then it branched into 2 stems. So we've got this main stem right here, and then these are 2 offshoots right here. And they produced these 2 vines. This right here, and this one right here. Look at those leaves. And this bigger root system, it looks very healthy. Despite all of the green algae growth, just pretend that's not there. Wow. So aside from the little pieces and bits of rotten roots towards the top, there isn't a whole lot of root rot at all. So yay. Now I'm just gonna take this to the sink real quick to just rinse off all of the excess pumice and algae, and I will be right back. Okay, we are back. So in the process, I've also rinsed off the leaves because there was a spider mite scare a couple of weeks ago in the Millsville cabinet, so I just wanted to make sure any remnants of spider mites are blasted off. But here's the roots. As you can see, it looks pretty good. There is a little bit of root rot, maybe like 2% of the roots in here. But for the most part, I think this is a very healthy root system. Now it's gonna be placed into this pot. Just like that. That's gonna look so good. All right, before I do that, let's go ahead and try our best to make that moss pole. All right, so what, do you just kind of do that and then use a twine? Okay, wish me luck. Cool, not bad. So the covered portion is probably like 12 inches, and then the uncovered portion is about 4 or 5 inches. I hope this fits. All right, back to our pot. Man, this better be enough soil. I'm gonna add a little bit of sphagnum moss to the bottom of this pot, just like that. Then put a layer of our soil. Too much soil. Okay, grab our pole. I want to try to encourage it to grow into the pole. Hang on, you guys can't even see, I'm sorry. Okay, is that better? Okay, how's that? Ooh, that's gonna look so good. Well, it looks like I have enough soil. Good job, me. Give her a little bit of some tappity taps. Wow. I just need to attach her to the pole, and I have some Velcro for that. Ta-da! Actually, let me fix it. It's just Pia needs to go out. She's getting bored. Okay, just compress it in there a little bit. She's still kind of wonky in there, but I'm hoping when I water her, it'll kind of settle the soil a little bit more. But for now, not bad for my first moss pole. What do you guys think? I was trying to reposition the moss pole within the soil, and here's a little trick for you guys. If you kind of know where you want to move the pole towards, kind of do that. Push it into the direction you want to go, but at the same time, like tap the pot like this to kind of almost liquefy the soil in a way so that it's easier for the pole to move. And it'll move. Doing that will kind of like loosen the entire pot of soil. So you do have to make sure to press it down afterwards. I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to poles in my pots. Good enough. Now, let's just water her in. Ta-da! Wow, it looks so good. Like, I would buy this for $300. All right, well, why don't you guys come with me downstairs so we can put this baby into her new home. Okay, here she is. Now, off to the Millsbo Wide we go with this Monstera Obliqua Peru. Ooh woo, Peru woo. Ooh, it's dark. Okay, here we are. Uh-oh. Guys, I don't think there's enough space. Maybe over there? Like that? Ooh. Oh, you're such a big plant. Wait. I don't know. I mean, I guess. Well, that's about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please do hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet already, plant scribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.